So one of the biggest questions I get is, Dr. Mike, I want to start a blog. You may have heard that there are people who are making money online with blogs, right? Well, on this episode, I'm going to suggest why creating a blog could be one of the biggest time wasters for you. And instead, I'm going to recommend something a lot better for you and your pocketbook on this episode of BootcampMD. Hey guys, welcome to BootcampMD. My name is Dr. Mike Wimig. Now, I've been online since 2003. Actually, if you go back, one of my first products I sold online was started back all the way back in 1996. I sold hundreds of products online, have generated quite a few dollars online, selling my own software company. I've seen almost every different way in terms of monetization online. And one of the biggest questions I get is, I actually did a survey several years ago to my list. I go, what in internet businesses, internet marketing were you most interested in? And the number one response that I got was starting a blog. And so every now and then I get an email saying, I want to start a blog. I heard that there are people who are making money online with blogs, and I'm a doctor and I feel that's the best way to go. I heard you can get money through advertising, through selling ads, and that's the way that I want to do it. Well, I've got some real truth out here for you that starting a blog could be the biggest waste of time that you've done. And people probably don't like to hear that. And I've started a blog and I've stopped a blog, and I've started a blog and I stopped a blog. Now, I do have a blog on my website, but what I'm here to tell you is making money online through blogs has been around since the first conference that I went to in internet businesses back in 2004. And they were talking about blogging. And there have been courses that talk about blogging, starting a blog, using WordPress, using blogger.com. It was really popular back in the day. And the thing is that the internet has changed. Now, back when that I was started involved in blogging and heard about blogging was that if there was a popular blog that you liked, you would go on your browser, and you would do is you bookmark it. And then every now and then you would go and check out to see, maybe you get a notification that they've got a new blog post there, and then you would go to that website. I can't even remember the last time I bookmarked a blog. Because right now we are inundated with content, right? We get, we'll see an article, maybe you'll see it on your Twitter, or maybe you find it on Reddit, and you go read that information. The problem is you don't remember who is the author of that blog. I don't remember the last time I actually went in, bookmarked a blog, and actually made sure that I checked back to see the next time it's posted. There's a lot of information out there, and we're information overloaded, right? And I don't know who is actually posting on those blogs, so I don't go back to them. Now, I don't know where it came about, but I do know, at least in physicians, is that there's some popular blogs out there, probably like the White Coat Investor, Passive Income MD, Physician on Fire, and you heard that they're making money through advertising. And more power to those guys. They're incredible. Yes, they sell advertising. But the problem then is, if you're starting a blog in 2019, what are you going to need? What's the lifeblood of a website? It's traffic. And you may have heard that if you have SEO, use search engine optimization, that blogs are very important for search engine optimization, and that is completely true. But the problem is, when you're starting a blog from scratch, what you're going to need are people to come to your website. And when you want to attract advertisers to your blog, you need to have so many people go to your blog. They're going to want to see, advertisers are going to want to see your analytics, how many people are going to your website, before they even think about paying you for advertising. Now, there are some programs that you can do, like contextual advertising programs, such as known as like Google AdSense is one, where you can put a little link or put some code onto your blog, and then if somebody clicks on that Google AdSense, you could get paid for that. And that was something that I did back in the day. The problem is, because we're so inundated with information, because there's so many ways that we can get content through social media, through Facebook groups, through LinkedIn groups, through articles that are coming in our LinkedIn, our feed, is that we just get inundated. And so when somebody asks me about starting a blog, or maybe they've had a blog, is that what I noticed happened, and it's happened with me, is I'll start a blog, I'll write an article, and I'll be very sad that I'm not getting a lot of traffic. And then I think that, well, I just need to get better content, create better articles. And I feel like I've written some good articles, throughout the day, and it's just so disappointing when you find out that you're not getting traffic. And you go for a few months, and then you're like, I'm dead, right? And then I'm going to start over, and I'm not making any income. Now, if you want to start a blog just because, for fun, for volunteer, because you are a physician and you are educated and you want to get, want to share your content with the world, more power to you. But for most, I would say 98% of it, and I don't think I'm being unrealistic, they want to start a blog because they want to make money online, right? But there's so many different ways that you can do it besides doing a blog, which can be wasting your time. You're going to be disappointed with the amount of traffic you're going to get, and eventually, if you're like me, you're going to feel like you're going to run out of things to talk about, and you just say, this blog isn't going to work. I've started a blog, stopped a blog, started a blog, stopped a blog, so many times. So what I'm going to recommend instead is to do something a bit different, where if you want to write articles, that's great. But the best way that I know to monetize the content that you're doing is building a list. So what is a list? When we talked about, you may have heard the phrase, the money is in the list. And it's usually what people are referring to is to have an email list where people are, you're building up like through a funnel, where you're building up names and email addresses. So let's say you have an ebook or a white paper on some great product. Let's say it's for physicians, it's like how to code better on the ICD-10, and maybe you've written an ebook on it and you give it away for free, and you're collecting your name and email address. And then what you do is you use an autoresponder, or you use an email companies such as Constant Contact or AWeber or GetResponse. One of these. There's so many of them. And what's going to happen is, if you start getting these name and email addresses and sometimes phone numbers, you're going to collect of people who have information that they want from you. So these are people who want to learn how to code better on there. And so what's going to happen is you're going to build an interest group of people into your email marketing. And then if you decide to create a product on it, you can be able to contact, you build up a list of, let's say, 500 to 1,000 people. You can then start selling products by blasting out an email for the people who like that information. Now, we're not talking about spam, because these are people who have said, yes, I'm interested to learn more about what you have to say. What happens is that we're so loaded with content that we just kind of get overwhelmed. Now, email has changed a lot too, and I'll freely admit this. It's harder to get your email into the inbox versus the spam folder. Deliverability isn't what it used to be in terms of making sure that your email is going to be opened. And, how many of us get one email a day, right? Nobody does that, right? We're probably getting 200 emails a day, right? And again, you can get lost. We've got more, ways that our attentions are going to be diverted there. But email marketing is something that I've done, for 15 years or more. And when you've heard the phrase, the money is in the list, it's so true. But the great thing that's changed, one of the things that's changed that I think is beneficial, is when you say the money is in the list, it does not necessarily mean email. For example, we use text marketing. We use text marketing in my day job, my brick and mortar business for our med spa. So we have a list of people who are interested in hearing about specials or hearing about new services that we have to offer. And because email deliverability is more difficult to, get attraction from, there's just, there's so much traffic in the email list, so many different offers that, ours can get lost there. But right now, people are checking their phones for text messages. So creating a text message list where people are interested in your information, education, you can start building a list through text messaging. And there's lots of different services. Maybe we'll cover that on a future call that you can use. You can create a list through creating your own Facebook group or LinkedIn groups. Not as good, I think, in terms of email lists, but you can build a list of people who have, a list of people into your group. Now, the important part in when you're building these type of lists is you don't want to be just selling products. You don't want to be spamming them, of course. You want to give a good combination of great content and, every now and then sell a product there. If you're just there just to sell stuff, nobody wants that, right? You want to give information where the prospect or the person who has said, hey, I'm giving you my name and email address because I'm interested in that. They want to know that you want to build a relationship. And really a better phrase instead of the money's in the list is in the money's in the relationship with you and your list. Another important part is you want to be emailing them on a regular basis, something that I've not been very good of late, just because I've got so many different different experiences and different things that I'm doing right now. But ideally, you want to email them at least once a week. If you want to be, now, when you're texting them, that's something that I try to be respectful for. And I maybe do like twice a month. But the reason why you want to do it is to let them know that you're still there. Because what happens when you have an email list, that over time, the information, you're going to lose. They say for every month that you don't email your list, the value of your list is going to drop about 10%. And I've seen that firsthand, how that can be affected. Because, and this is something that you probably are be surprised to hear, is that most of us are kind of bored, right? Even though we got all this stuff, we got, Netflix and videos and watching their Kardashians or Game of Thrones or all these different things there, we're bored there. And we want to, we want to have an experience with them, something that is new. So if you can create something that not only gives great content, but also can attract and entertain, I think that's kind of the best of both worlds there. So just to sum up, this is a quick call. When it comes time to creating content, use an email list or use some type of list to shoot out your content. Now you can have your blog where you can have your articles on your website and you can shoot them an email that goes to your blog, but don't just create a blog without some type of capture form where you're going to be capturing their name, email address. Because what's going to happen, they're going to go onto your blog and then they're going to leave. And they have no idea. You may have the best article in the world, but they have no idea what kind of blog that was, who wrote it, and they don't even care about it. And, most of us, unfortunately, we just care about ourselves, right? Well, I'm not saying anything that's not groundbreaking here, right? And we're so inundated with information, it just gets more and more difficult. The way to do it is to build the list. So I hope you liked that today. Again, really short and sweet today on this episode of BootstrapMD. If you want to check out our past podcasts, go to bootstrapmd.com. I also encourage you to go on iTunes, and if you like what you hear, go ahead and vote. It really helps me get up higher into the rankings in terms of podcasting. I love producing this great information to you and hearing great feedback or even bad feedback. Just let you know that I'm hopefully I'm making a difference and I'm helping you out there, the busy physician who looking for different ways to build extra income, specifically online. So without further ado, this is Dr. Mike, and as always, keep moving forward.